Today I'm going to be going over 5 dart tips that I wish I knew sooner. I've been playing darts for the past 3 years, and when I started off playing darts I was averaging around a 30, and these dart tips really took my average from a 30 to a 60. So let's get straight into tip 1. So the first tip that I wish I knew sooner, and that was warming up properly. Back when I started playing darts, all I would do was just throw 12 to 15, maybe 20 darts, and then I'd go straight into a game first to 6 legs. So for the first 5 minutes of my practice routine, I would play power scorer, basically just aiming at the treble 20 and trying to hit a 180, just trying to loosen my arm and getting a feeling for my throw again. My whole practice routine is about 20 minutes long, and this is just my first part of it. And the good thing about using the Scolia power scorer is that you have scores to beat. As you can see, my highest score in this month is 507 and my all-time score is 803. But after 5 minutes of this, now let's move on to my next warm-up routine, and that is checkout streak. I do like to alternate between 1-2-1 and checkout streak just to keep it nice and fresh each day, but today I thought I'd do checkout streak. Surprisingly, I'm actually very terrible at combination finishing, so I will spend a whole 10 minutes doing checkout streak or 1-2-1, just because how bad my combination finishing is, and because how bad my combination finishing is, I definitely need to spend a lot longer on it, but my problem is it's very boring to do. But now let's move on to my final warm-up, and that is playing a game called Half It. In this game, each round has a target. For example, it will tell you to hit a double, a treble, a bullseye, a 20 or a 17, and if I hit it, I get to keep the points that I'm on. However, if I miss all 3 darts at that target, my total score gets halved. For example, if you are on 200 points and you have to hit a treble and you miss all 3 darts at the treble, your score would get put down to 100. This game really focuses on your accuracy, and to be honest with you, this is probably my most favourite warm-up game. So after doing this for about 5 minutes, let's move on to tip 2. So the second tip that I wish I knew sooner was following through. When I was starting out, there's one thing I couldn't do, and that was just follow through. I don't know why, but I really struggled. And there's one tip, I don't know why, but it just really helped. All I would do for like 10 minutes straight was not even worry where I'm aiming. All I'm focusing on is just making sure I just follow through. I don't care where I go, just making sure I follow it through. The goal for this was to make sure that following through just became muscle memory and just became natural. Because when I first started out, it didn't feel natural. I never used to do it. But doing this, I would do it over a few weeks and do it 10 minutes every single day just to make it muscle memory. But now let's move on to tip 3. So the third tip that I wish I knew sooner was consistently standing the same way. Before, I just had to guess how I stood and where I stood and try and memorize where I stood each time. That is before I started doing this. So now every time I approach the hockey, I would always put my foot in the directly middle of the hockey. We'll always do this, then put my foot in the exact same position every single time. It did take me a week to make it feel natural, because when I started doing it, it just felt really weird. But after months and months of doing it, now it just feels so natural, and now it's just built in muscle memory. So now every time I approach any hockey, I would always do the exact same thing, and my foot will always be in the exact same place. I could do it 100 times and it would still be in the exact same spot. And that's exactly what you need. Practice where you stand, practice your consistency on your stance, making sure it's the same. Darts is about repetition and just copying the exact same thing you do. So now I'll always do the exact same thing, and I'll always stand in the exact same place. Now let's move on to tip 4 that I wish I knew sooner, and that is practice with a purpose. A lot of the time when I first started playing darts, I would just throw darts and that was it. I would just throw to throw pretty much. But when I started practicing with a purpose, it really helped me focus a lot more and actually help me improve. So as I walk up to the hockey right now, I am trying to aim for the double 20s, the double 16, double 8s, double 10s. Just trying to work on my doubles a bit more, practice with a purpose, and actually treat it like an actual practice session instead of just throwing. So out of my whole game, my doubles is by far the worst, and it's something that definitely loses me games way too often. So I try and spend as much time as possible working on my combination finishing, working on my doubles, and just trying to improve as much as I can. Because I feel like my scoring's okay, but I think my doubles is really terrible. But that is just maybe due to a lack of doing it in the past. So after tip 4 of practicing with a purpose, it's time to move on to the final tip. And the final tip is shorter practice sessions. A lot of people think the longer you practice, the better you'll get. But the truth is, after about 45 minutes to an hour, your focus starts to fade, your brain gets tired, and your arm gets a bit lazy, and your throws starts to fall apart. Instead of building good habits, you start reinforcing bad ones without even realizing it. There's actual science behind this. It's called motor learning. It shows that your brain processes and remembers skill-based movements like throwing a dart way better in short, focused bursts. The key is quality reps, not just more reps. Think of your brain like a sponge. It can only soak up so much before it needs time to absorb. So by breaking your practice session into shorter focus sessions, you give your brain a chance to learn and your body a chance to recover. So now when I do practice, I will play for about 30 to 40 minutes and then take a 10 to 20 minute break. So in them sessions, I'm not feeling tired and I'm feeling confident and I'm feeling good when I'm playing games. If you do think I've missed any tips or if you have any new ones to add, let me know in the comments down below. I have gone for a completely different style video that I'm used to making, so I hopefully you did enjoy. If you have any pointers, I'm all ears.